anything that releases now that's Harry Potter themed faces major backlash. I know there are a lot of people out there who do not like J.K. Rowling, but then there are some who are willing to push the limits and say you're a terrible, awful, disgusting person for supporting what might be your favorite series ever. And now a rumored Fortnite crossover with Harry Potter is stirring up talks of a boycott. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, you don't have to like Harry Potter. You don't have to like J.K. Rowling. You don't have to support her works, but to sit here and say you're a terrible person simply for reading a book, playing a video game, supporting a series you might have loved your whole life is pretty pathetic, and there's been a lot of Harry Potter boycotts that have happened over the years that have been complete and utter failures. The most notable one was with Hogwarts Legacy. That was a game that a lot of people were initially mad at about on social media, but then when the game finally came out, nobody boycotted it. It was the biggest boycott failure I personally have ever seen because everybody still ran out, everybody still purchased it, it sold a massive amount of copies, over 30 million at this point, and now that Fortnite, another big game, is apparently thinking about doing a crossover with this series and adding these characters, it stirred the pot. So it says Fortnite is rumored to be planning a Harry Potter crossover, and according to Screen Rant, a boycott may be brewing for the same reason everything involving Harry Potter is threatened with a boycott nowadays. Now, my biggest problem with this is the fact that it's just another collaboration event so that Epic can make a bunch of money and so they can get you to buy $20 character skins, right? I think that that is a big problem, that they constantly try to monetize fans and milk people for all they're worth, but at the same time, nobody's forcing anybody to purchase this. I just think that we've seen so many collaborations over the past couple of years and so many multiplayer games like Call of Duty and Fortnite that I'm personally a little bit sick and tired of seeing them now. But it says Fortnite has crossed over with several popular IPs, most recently The Simpsons, and a rumor says that the boy wizard and his friends will be casting spells in the online live service game. Also, another problem I have is that there are very few characters in Harry Potter that actually look cool, like Dumbledore, for example. Look at the way he looked in the movies. Look at all of those velvets and patterns and silks and the outfit. He looked like a wizard. Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron are constantly just in their school uniform or they're in like holiday sweaters. Okay, how are you going to make these characters look cool? Sure, I guess you could add Harry, but then the other two, it's just the same copy and paste except for their face. I don't think that this sounds like a particularly wonderful idea. It says this development shouldn't be surprising, as Harry Potter is one of the most popular IPs of all time, with new content still being produced, such as the upcoming HBO TV series. If the NFL can make it into Fortnite, certainly Harry Potter was inevitable. It says, though, with Harry Potter comes controversy nowadays because activists are angry about Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling's views on gender politics. Now, I do not agree with J.K. Rowling on everything. I do agree with her when it comes to men are men and women are women, and you can't change that. And I know we don't look to these gender activists for any sort of coherent argument, but what I will never understand is if genitals do not define your gender, how does removing them affirm it? It's a question I've never seen a good answer to. It says those who oppose her position, though, demand boycotts of every new Harry Potter product, with one activist even selling copies of the Harry Potter books with her name removed, which may be illegal. The biggie was Hogwarts Legacy, the video game based on the world of the books set at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry during the Victorian era. A boycott was threatened due to her views, and Hogwarts Legacy became one of the best-selling video games of all time. And there was even, I believe about a month ago, a whole hit piece that was sort of re-earthed about how if Hogwarts Legacy 2 does come out one day, they need to change it, they need to do better, they need to shove more politics and activism in people's faces. And of course, that would be a terrible idea because the first game did sell extremely well and a lot of people did love it. I liked it myself, though at the same time, they still could mess it up. And a sequel could not sell because they changed the tone. Now, do I think they're going to do that? No, why would they? The first game sold so well, you would think that they would want to continue down that path and just make another game that makes as much money and sells as many copies. But boy, oh boy, would it be interesting to see the epic meltdowns of the media if the Access Media, the Kotaku's, Polygons, the gamers are still around when this releases in several years. Their meltdowns would be glorious. That being said, Fortnite likely doesn't have to worry. These boycotts never had much of an impact. In fact, many suspects that they have a tendency to backfire. The theory here is that Hogwarts Legacy saw even greater success because of anti-boycotters who bought the game to spite those protesting. I don't necessarily know if I fully believe that this did impact the sales that much. I think that the anti-boycotters were already people who were probably interested in it and most likely would have bought it. I do think that the fandom for Harry Potter is absolutely massive, and I bet a lot of the people that complained purchased it themselves. Now, I did start taking a peek on social media, looking up terms like Fortnite Harry Potter and Fortnite boycott and things like that, and there are quite a few threads and a lot of comments saying that yes, people are going to do this. Fortnite News Network had posted about J.K. Rowling's well-documented history of making harmful transphobic remarks. This is a post that's been shared around social media probably a million times at this point. I think that basically everybody knows about this post because it's one of the only ones that actually gets shared around. No one buy this, trans rights. I think that it's funny that this person is getting completely and utterly ratioed, saying, I have the right to buy this and you have the right to not, and to also shut up. Understand that there's fans of the franchise and they will still be buying it, including the trans people that love the franchise. Trans people buying something from someone who would rather them be dead. J.K. Rowling never said that she wanted these people dead. She never said that she wanted these people harmed. She never said anything like that. But this person, of course, has a watermelon in their profile and they're a complete liar. People doing thumbs up saying peak transphobia added, though. Finally, a season where I can save my money. I'm actually shocked that they're not calling for an outright Fortnite boycott because they would dare to work with J.K. Rowling. And I say this all the time, unless you're living in like an Amish community, you're always supporting someone bad. If you shop at Walmart, Target, Best Buy, if you purchase from a Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo, you're always supporting some shareholder that's greedy, some CEO that's greedy, some developer that's a terrible person. Like, this is just the unfortunate part of living life, I suppose. So yeah, I think that company-wide boycotts are very tough. Obviously, if someone at the company is doing something illegal and they refuse to fire them, that's different. Like how I've said on this channel to boycott games like the day before because it was a legitimate scam, but otherwise I'm not going to tell people to boycott something. And I think that it's so funny that these people feel like because they are upset, they are superior in this case, and that you need to listen to them because it's almost like they're an authoritative figure. Everyone disliked that. Ew, how could they do this? No thanks. A trans flag in profile. Epic being based in doing this. And I don't necessarily think that it comes down to being based. I think that it comes down to wanting to make money. Look at how much money Harry Potter makes. Every single company wants a slice of that pie, which isn't particularly shocking. And I can't blame them for wanting to make money. They are a company, but none of this will really shock anybody that's been following the Harry Potter drama over the years. Anybody who's been following J.K. Rowling on social media, there are always going to be people that go after her and her creation and that absolutely hate anybody who supports it. But now this rumored Fortnite crossover is facing backlash. They haven't even officially unveiled it yet, and I'm certain that they'll probably come out with it, and this probably is true. But man, oh man, is this already pissing people off. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.